Sean Payton has told reporters that there will be no offseason program for the Saints this year. And I'm actually really kind of okay with that. I think it was very non-committal, wasn't it? I'm really actually kind of okay with that. So, basically, the NFL has said that you can have a virtual camp of sorts. The way that they've termed it is a virtual period from April 20th to May 15th. If the team declines to participate in that virtual period, then they cannot conduct an off-season program after that period ends. So that's where they are right now. Our very good friend Diana Rossini, who we only met yesterday, but is going to heretofore be known as our very good friend, tweeted a bit ago, Saints players were told no virtual workouts, no online meetings, no workouts at the facility, even if it's allowed. Show up in July for training camp in the best shape of your life. They were told take care of your families, your health, and be ready for the summer. So that's Diana Rossini, our very good friend from ESPN, NFL reporter, who tweeted that earlier today. So the Saints will have no offseason program. It's show up in July for training camp and be ready to roll. And I'll tell you this, I'm cool with it because the Saints have been here before. In 2011, when the NFL had the lockout, if you remember this, and if you don't, that's fine, I'll remind you, but the New Orleans Saints, by far, were the pace car in the NFL for player-led workouts. And that was because Drew Brees is maniacal. And he got buy-in from other players, and there were so many questions then, because if you remember, there was no CBA. There was no labor agreement. So there was this concern that if players went and did voluntary workouts and got hurt, they're not covered because there was no labor agreement. So in spite of that, the Saints went and had organized player workouts that went off swimmingly. That season, of course, in 2011, the Saints went 13-3, and they lost in that just brutal, devastating divisional round game out in San Francisco when, Alex Smith was the hero late in the game. But either way, Vernon Davis caught the pass and all that stuff. But anyway, the point is, the Saints, the last time this came up, handled it fine. And Sean Payton, in some respect, has done that every year with the Saints bye week. This is something that he admittedly took from Andy Reid, but there is nothing that the Saints do during their bye week. Sean Payton says, leave. After the game going into the bye week, he says, leave, see you next Monday as we get ready for the following opponent. It's just a complete opportunity to disengage and trust his team that you're going to do the right things. And by and large, they have, and the Saints have been really good coming off of byes because of that, in large part because of that. So Sean Payton has built a culture within his locker room where he can give players autonomy and trust them to do the right thing, and that autonomy is paid off for New Orleans. So I don't really think this is going to matter. I mean, look at the players they've shipped off, really good players because of locker room issues perceived or otherwise. If it was Brandon Cooks or Kenny Stills or Akeem Hicks. When Sean Payton first got here in 2006, it was Wayne Gandy and Dante Stallworth. Some thought that maybe Jimmy Graham was in that boat as well. Regardless, they've done incredible work building a great locker room culture, and I think the Saints, without an offseason program, just telling your team, hey, show up in July for training camp in the best shape of your life, they're going to do it. And the other thing that's really exciting about that is Sean Payton saying, show up in July for training camp. Telling you, the movers and shakers, the decision makers, they keep telling you. They're tipping their hand as far as a calendar and a schedule and how this is all going to play out.